each other. Help us to be open to learning so that we may develop ourselves personally and spiritually. And so it is.
So it is.
So I'm going to start off the evening with reading our Declaration of Principles. We believe in the freedom of each person to worship their God however they may choose. We believe that there is but one mind, one law, one principle, one substance in the universe, and I am one with all there is. We believe that giving is receiving without thought of compensation. We believe in the eternity, the immortality, and the continuity of the eternal soul, forever and ever expanding. We believe in the spiritual healing of the sick through prayer, meditation, and divine law. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of man, and that any person may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling Spirit of God. We believe that humanity's mental states are carried forward into manifestation and become his experience through prayer, meditation, and divine law. This evening we're following again in mode of theme for the month, and so our theme for the month is gratitude. Yep. Yay! Very good. So that being the case, we're going to now welcome Reverend Max Maya to the podium, who is going to share a lesson on gratitude. In fact, your attitude of gratitude determines your altitude.
Whoop, whoop. You stole that. I was going to put that in my speech.
Hello. So, how many people here believe in what you believe?
I believe in what I believe.
Yes. Then why doesn't it work all the time?
Mine does.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. Don't go there. I know you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, just because it goes bad don't mean it ain't working. It's just I did it wrong.
Oh, okay. There we go.
That's it.
Well, last week, Reverend Dr. Suzanne Danielle, our pastor, gave us the G-force, right?
Yeah.
What's the G-force?
Oh,
Gratitude, grace, and
Oh, that's it.
generosity.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
So that is the foundation of a type of power engaged in as you learn and grow in metaphysical spirituality. And I'm going to tell you that it's even simpler than that. Remember, in the Old Testament, there are hundreds of laws to follow. And then in the New Testament, a very unusual thing happened, right? All of those hundreds of laws, which the Torah goes into extensively, go down to two things. Things that we should be able to do kind of easily, but tend to be challenges to our faith. And that is, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul, and
Love one another.
love one another. And you know, for the last 2,000 years, we've been having a problem with it, haven't we?
Just a little.
But that tends to be the human condition, because we constantly struggle with the mundane physical world and with spirituality. So I would say, if it's not working for you, if you have some challenges with your spirituality, that's just being human. Forget about it being a challenge. There is no failure in spirituality. Why? Number one, you are eternal. You have always been eternal. And number two,
Principles eternal.
yeah. And number two, being here in the flesh is all about what? Learning to love.
Yeah.
There is but one effective power in the universe. Why is that? Because the universe is quite simple. So that power we would refer to as love. What does that mean? Well, we can propose that love means one thing for this discussion, and that is joy. Now, if you're depressed all the time, can you love effectively? No.
No, sir.
If you don't love yourself, can you love?
No.
If you can't love yourself, how can you even begin to approach loving another being? Can't happen. Got to get this straight first, right? So, what of our G forces, what?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Generosity.
And generosity. All of those hinge on where your heart is, right? Where your soul is. Because many world scriptures, there's another term that goes with joy. It's called bliss. And that's from the East. Joy and bliss, pretty much kind of similar things. So, if I get a hold of expressing my joy, what am I also doing? I'm being thankful. So one of the first things I can be thankful for is Spirit's generosity to me. I'm alive. I'm cognizant of who I am. I bless people, and people bless me. So we got lots to be thankful for. And so a lot of sacred texts get into rejoice and give thanks in all things. Why?
Because all things is from the one.
Yep.
Sorry.
So it goes back to being able to think about, implement, and live with practicing the divine presence in your life. How many people here have been in love? So, relationship-wise, yes. So remember, when you got together with somebody, you know, you came into work that day and you're smiling and your head's up, you're going, wow, this is the most wonderful thing ever. I really love that person. And we're like soulmates. And then comes that phrase, I would love you forever.
Oh, don't tell me that.
We will be together forevermore because you're my soulmate. Then something happens. And it's not a blessing anymore. So what does that day look like? Your head's down. Oh, it's over. I'll never love anybody again. Really?
Really?
No. Because you know what? The sun comes up again tomorrow, right? Eternity does not stop. The flow of love does not stop in the universe. Now you can close yourself off to it, but who stays miserable? The person who caused your feeling,
No.
or you?
You.
It's you. So, that grace, you shielding you from the light. It's like I will say, hey doc, my jaw hurts. And I'm wondering why Spirit doesn't bless me with my jaw being healed and whole. I don't understand what's going on. So the doctor goes, how about that? But how many times do we not know we cause our own suffering by not recognizing the generosity, by not recognizing the grace in our life, and not expressing the gratitude for that? So when we wake up each and every morning of our lives, who determines the direction of the day?
Trust me.
We do. There's nobody punishing us. The Divine Spirit doesn't need to get involved because we are experts at spanking our own butt.
It's true.
Why does God need to do anything? He's just kind of looking and go, how's that working for you? So it's because that we live in the abode of story. We live the life we tell ourselves. If you define yourself in negatives, what happens to your life? If you think life sucks, guess what? You are correct. And God will ensure your victory. So you can go ahead and spank yourself as long as hard as you want. But is that his fault? No. Because who's putting the shadow in front of the light? It's us. And this is usually ego. Oh, my life is, you have no idea. Have you ever seen that one person in your life that's got bigger scars than you do, has been through the worst stuff, and you know, you hear them on the phone and you immediately go, really? But yeah, the person that's always positive, you know, we kind of look at them and go, are you crazy? Yeah, Max, yeah, okay, it's a hurricane outside, but you know what? We'll get through it. We'll survive. Everything will be great afterwards. It's like having a hangover and somebody being righteously gleeful in front of your pain, right? The first thing you do is go, you must die. I can't do this. Because our hearts are shadowed from the light. So you're going, where is this all going? To rejoice and give thanks on a constant level, you have to recognize who you are in here. How many people watch The Secret? Yeah. It's one of the premier movies that let us understand we create our reality. And as people who practice metaphysical spirituality, the fundamental aspect is change your mind, change your world. We create. Our minds are designed for creativity, for creation. We create our reality, and we would say, hooked in with spirit. So how does that work? Are we doing wishful thinking? Are we doing serious prayer? You get that little wrinkle on your forehead and you're going, dear God, this is serious stuff.
My husband.
I want to win the lottery. I want to have a big house. I want a 2018 Toyota Camry. Really? What needs to happen first?
Get a job.
That's right, get a job, I agree.
How many people believe that you can just do things, you know, sometimes they really have a problem with the word intuitive. Because a lot of times it means I pulled it out my rear end. But they don't recognize that Spirit gives you all the power, Spirit gives you all the opportunity, Spirit gives you everything you need to live the more than abundant life. You don't need intuition. It's the first thing you do, you ask.
Manifest?
No, that's down the road. You can't even manifest unless you believe, right? You ask. Then you believe you already have it.
There you go.
It's already in your position. There's nothing wrong with asking for a Toyota Camry, but there are certain responsibilities, right? You ever see those people who want, dear Lord, I would like a Rolls Royce with a driver. And they're gonna sit down and wait for it. Is that spiritual? No. Thing's not gonna just drop in your lap. So you ask, you believe to have it already. And then for the manifestation from the spiritual principle to the physical world includes what? You gotta do work. Why? Because spirit doesn't want you to be crazy. It's not some kind of thing that just pops into reality. No, in fact, out of no way comes a way. So you do the work. She's right. Maybe you need to get a job. Maybe you need to get a GoFundMe page. So when you believe for something to happen, what you're saying is, I'm ready to do the work. How many people really, week in and week out, buy a ticket and say, dear Lord, I'm gonna win the lottery? Because then everything will be cleared up, right?
No, then you got a whole bunch of other problems.
Yeah. Well, what happens? There are several books out on the market that explain what happens to people who receive a huge boon and they're not ready for it. They didn't do the work. They weren't prepared. They want to give the money back. It becomes a curse. And that is because why? What's happening in here? You got what you wanted. Then what did you do?
No gratitude for it.
Yep. Without gratitude, no manifestation can occur. Why? Because you're the one who designed that instrument, right? You did your prayers, you thought, you believed, you asked, and then you received, but you weren't ready. Then the walls come tumbling down. Money can be as much a curse as it is a blessing. Anything that you think about and believe to manifest in your life can be a blessing or a curse. The difference is, did you take the G-force and manifest thanksgiving for it? I want everybody to repeat with me this phrase. I rejoice and give thanks.
I rejoice and give thanks,
For thou hast healed me
for thou hast healed me
and made me whole.
and made me whole.
So every day, kind of repeat that about 1,000,000 times. But think about what you're saying. Anything that happens in my life, it's not just me. I am involved in metaphysical spirituality because I recognize there is something in the universe greater than myself. I see it in Hinduism, where the call is, Atman is equal to Brahman.
Mm-hmm.
The individuated soul is equal to the universal soul. Or in Buddhism, An-Atman. There is no soul at all. There is only mind. And all around us is illusion. So we have to anchor ourselves in some kind of truth. And usually the simplest, the most foundational truth that you can speak with your mouth and imagine with your mind is what? That I am grateful to whatever is greater than me for all the things that happened in my life. It wasn't just me being crazy and trying to develop stuff willy-nilly. There's a discipline. There is order to the discipline of spirituality. It's not intuitive. It's very purposeful. So, I rejoice and give thanks, for thou hast healed me physically,